What's up, you beautiful person, and welcome back to the Realistically Free channel. It's your boy Micah, and here we talk tips, perspective, so that you can live freely in reality. Real quick before I get into this video, I just wanted to say thank you everybody who subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, you should do so, because I see about 75% of you who are watching these videos, but you're not subscribed. So you obviously like this shit, just subscribe. Help your brother out, help a homie out. No, but in all seriousness, I really appreciate everybody who subscribed. In my mind, it's not just numbers, you're people. Which is why every time I start a video, I say, what's up, you beautiful person, because you are a beautiful person and you are valid and you are seen. Every last one of you. I love you guys and I appreciate it. But go ahead and hit that subscribe button because it helps your boy out. Also, I wanted to mention, I'm thinking about doing a YouTube live stream maybe Saturday, November 28th. I've been messing around on my computer trying to figure it out because we haven't hit 1,000 subscribers yet, but we will. And we haven't hit 1,000 yet, so I can't do like the mobile live stream, but I can do it from my computer. So if you guys are interested, let me know in the comments if you would like me to do a live stream where we can chat, discuss ideas. There's some things I want to mention with you guys, and I'd love to talk to you guys live to get some real-time feedback from you guys. I'd also like to do some giveaways. Thanksgiving is tomorrow. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. If you don't, that's cool too. I love you anyway. Don't give a shit what you do as long as you're happy. I would like to do a giveaway for the holidays. It'll be after Thanksgiving because you guys will probably get this on Thanksgiving Day. But I would like to do a giveaway, probably do a STP/Packer giveaway. I just want to give back to the community, to the people who have been supporting me, the people who are subscribing here. I want to help out the community as much as I can. I have a lot of ideas to give back to you guys, to help you guys, to pour into you guys. That's my goal, is really to love up on the community and just be somebody different in the YouTube space. I got a big heart and I want to love on as many people as I can. You know what I mean? I know, especially in the beginning of my transition, it was always rough for me. A lot of the time it was all on my own, trying to figure it out, trying to purchase things for myself, trying to get things that I needed to help alleviate my dysphoria or just make me feel better. And those times were rough for me. And I'm grateful that I'm in a position now that I'm not rich. I want to still be able to give back to you guys out there. I want to be able to help you through your situations as best as I can, and just give back. That's just who I am. And as I said in the beginning of starting or getting into this YouTube stuff and getting into this space, that my goal was to mentor, young men out there. And whether you're new and fresh in your transition or seasoned in your transition, whatever the case may be, I want to be a mentor. I want to be that big brother Mike to you guys, and just do my best to keep you guys grounded, keep you guys pushing forward, keep you guys empowered, and help out as much as I can. So let me know in the comments if that's something that you guys want. This Saturday, November 28th, thinking probably 1:30 Eastern Standard Time, get on live, we'll chit chat. I'll talk about some ideas that I'm thinking about bringing to the channel and get your feedback on, because at the end of the day, I make this content for you, not for me. I like doing it, but it's really for you guys out there. So I want to see what you guys want, as well as probably do one giveaway of an STP/Packer, and then do another giveaway of a binder. And then we'll probably look into maybe December some other giveaways that I'm thinking about doing. But let me know in the comments if that's something that you want. So without further ado, let's get into this week's topic, which is transmedicalism in the trans community. And I've seen this kind of coming up a lot. And before making this video, I wanted to really do my due diligence and do some research, find out what both sides are saying, look at it objectively, and come back with my thoughts. In my opinion, well, before we even get into my opinion, it's all love here. It's all about positivity here. It's all about empowering each other here. And so nothing I say is the end all be all, you know what I mean? Of course, like we want to have fun here, and like I said, when we get on the live, I'll tell you guys about some content that I'm thinking about creating, and I want your feedback. But it's all about love, fun, you know, and respect here. So I just wanted to put that out there before I get into my opinion. So I've seen this conversation is, in my opinion, rooted in fear. And what I mean by that, rooted in fear, is whether it's the people who are for or who believe in transmedicalism, there's fear. If it's the people who don't believe that transmedicalism is real or that there's fear. And I kind of want to break that down. But before we can do that, I need to first kind of establish what is transmedicalism. Most likely, if you've clicked on this video, you know what it is, but just for the people who may not, from all the research I could gather, it's essentially the belief or ideology that in order to be a true transgender person or to be transgender, you have to have gender dysphoria. And not only that, but it is looked at as if you are transgender, you have a mental illness or a medical condition that is causing you to be transgender. Now, from what I could gather, a lot of this rhetoric, a lot of these ideologies are coming from a couple of YouTubers in specific, but I'm not going to mention because I'm not here clout chasing. It's just these are just my thoughts. But apparently there's a handful of trans YouTubers who have really and other YouTubers who aren't trans who have really been beating the nail on the head of that. And then you have other people who are either who have had a personal interaction with these trans YouTubers who are against it, or they just there's just a lot of people who don't believe, and I see a lot of non-binary people also don't believe this. And so with that being said, I'm going to do something completely different here. I'm going to go ahead and say that the conversation is rooted in fear. The people who believe, that to be trans is a medical condition, a mental illness, I feel that those people who believe that, typically there's the fear of not having the resource to transition if transgender people are looked at as normal or looked at as like you don't have a medical condition. I think it kind of, and I don't want to speak for anybody, but this is just my perception of what I've seen, that it seems that the people who do, who wholeheartedly say, oh yeah, it's a medical condition, it seems like they're afraid that if they don't think that they won't be able to have resources available to them in order to transition. So they believe people who aren't exactly, exhibiting the same behaviors and thought patterns as them are taking away from them. But it looks like the conversation now from the other side, the people who don't agree with, it's a medical condition or it's a mental illness, tend to say, oh, it's invalidating, it's invalidating, it's not true, we're normal people. It makes them feel like they're not included in the trans community because they don't have a feeling of medical necessity to transition, and so they feel like they're not trans enough. And then they say, well, the people who believe in transmedicalism are transphobic and they're just trying to appease cisgender people and appeal to the majority of our society, which is cisgendered heterosexuals, and they just want their ass licked. Basically is the thought process. But I see at the root of this conversation on both sides is not transphobia. In my opinion, I don't think it's transphobia, not fear of being trans or fear of other trans people necessarily, but the fear that there's not enough resources and that they're not going to be looked at as normal or be looked at as a part of something else, if that makes sense. Now, for the side of transmedicalism, I can see a little bit where the fear is coming from. And where I see that is health insurance companies. Let's start there. Health insurance companies, let's be very clear, the only reason health insurance companies pay for transgender surgeries, hormones, like hormone replacement therapy, gender reassignment surgery, whether it's top or bottom or both. The only reason why health insurance companies pay for this is because it is considered a mental condition or mental illness. If you take trans as being a mental illness or medical condition out of that box, right? If you take it away and say, no, if the people who are advocating for that were to get their way and everybody believed that it was just normal, or that, it's something, it would then be considered as cosmetic or be considered as a want, not a need. And that's where I feel like these people who believe in transmedicalism that's where the fear comes from. If you take this away, I will no longer have the resource because I cannot afford to pay out of my pocket for these grossly expensive surgeries and hormone replacement therapies and doctor's appointments, and I cannot pay for that out of my pocket. I cannot afford it. And so if you take the medical aspect out of it, health insurances would no longer be required to pay for it. Because let's look at women who get Brazilian butt lifts and lip injections and Botox, and I mean, men do it too. Insurances do not cover that because that is not a medical condition that is requiring you to have a breast implant or butt implant or ab implants for men, whatever they're doing, okay? Insurances don't cover that because it's not a medical condition. It's an alteration that you want to do to your body because yes, it makes you feel better, but it is not, in their eyes, a necessity. It's not a medical condition. Therefore, health insurance is not going to take care of it because it's not a part of your health. You're not going to not be healthy anymore if you don't have big titties. Although we love them big titties. Anywho, so I think that the fear from the people who agree with transmedicalism says, okay, maybe in their mind somewhere they don't even believe it. I'm gonna tell you right now, I quite honestly don't give a fuck if somebody says I have a mental illness or I have a medical condition. I don't care if they say that I do or that I don't. Pay for my shit. Just pay for my shit. Here's the thing though, I say that to say that's where I think more of and both sides are looking to be validated, not only by each other but by the outside world, is to be validated in your experience as a person and to be seen as a person. But before I get into this next point, I want to say, you beautiful person out there, the only person who has the ability to invalidate you or validate you is you. Only you have that power. When you don't give up that power to somebody else to make the decision for you, whether you're valid or not, whether you're seen or not, whether you're important or not, whether you're good enough. You are good enough because you are. Not because I tell you, not because somebody else tells you or doesn't tell you. You're valid in your experience. Now, the conversation needs to shift away from attacking each other and attack the system for what it is. I did not create a system where a trans person has to be considered medically ill to be considered trans and to have their surgeries covered for. I didn't create that system. But this is the system in which I have. This is the society in which I live. And I have to play within those parameters. I think you get what I'm saying. Now, we need to look at that. Because now let's say we took medical condition out of it. Health insurance companies no longer cover it. But you still have the WPATH standard of care where you have to have two, you have to have two letters from a psychologist or a therapist, from two different therapists or psychiatrists. You have to have a letter from your doctor or whatever. Okay, so if we take medical out of it, then we would no longer need we would no longer have those restrictions. We would no longer have what is called gatekeeping, right? Somebody telling you what you can and can't do. And I think that the people, again, going back to that believe in transmedicalism and believe that it's important and have the fear that they won't be able to have these procedures, if you take that out of it, I think then the thought process goes, okay, now I can go to any surgeon I want because there would hopefully, which we don't even know if this is the case or not, there would hopefully no longer be the WPATH standard of care, which means you would no longer need therapists to tell you what you can and can't do with your body. There is no need to have any of those things, right? But then now you have to pay for it out of pocket. just like you would with like I was saying, with those other surgeries that are out there, because those aren't considered medical conditions either. I think then now the fear is, fuck, now I got to come up with it out of my pocket. But now if I just restrict who is considered trans and we stay in this box of transness and have these expectations of what trans is, then I don't have to worry about these other things, but I'm still going to have this, we're still going to have this, the headbutting between people who don't believe it and people who do, and blah, blah, blah. We need to attack that system. That's what we need to do. Attack the system, not attack each other, because we didn't create these systems. We're choosing to believe the systems that were created, but we didn't create them. So I wish I had like the answer. I don't. But I will say this, if we want to take it to a step further here. The money you pay to your health insurance company every month, you've paid for your surgery. You paid for it. Because that money that you're paying, the money that you're paying gets invested and they make money off your money. So whether you use insurance or you don't use insurance, they're making money. That money's there. It's your money. You've just given it to someone else. So I mean, there would be a way to get around it. It would be hard in the US since we're required by law to have health insurance, unless they were to get rid of that. Like, there would be so many layers of things we would have to get rid of in order for transmedicalism to not exist. And to think that it starts with, I see trans people fighting each other over things that, like, there's many, many layers to this. It's really the system that created it, not each other. So I guess what I really want to say is not who's right or wrong, because I can't answer that. We're all in this world, in this life, just experiencing life in our own way. Everybody's experience in life is different. Everybody's perception in life is different. So I can't sit here and say what is right or wrong in terms of this conversation. But I think that everybody's saying the same thing, and they're just not listening to each other. And everything has become an attack of, you're not trans enough, you're not manly enough or womanly enough. And then so if there's too many expectations and there's too many this and too many that, and it's like, if we just sat down and instead of arguing with one another, just discuss what are ways that we can all win. How can we win? How can we all get something out of it? Even if we don't all win, how can we get as close to winning as possible? That should be how the conversation here. Because like I said, there is a way that you could pay for surgeries. You could take your own money, invest that money. And just disclaimer, this isn't financial advice. It's just an example. You could take that same money, invest it somewhere, and let the money grow and pay for surgeries yourself if transmedicalism wasn't a thing, because then there would no longer be requirements that you would have to meet in order to go to any surgeon and get any surgery you wanted done. I mean, look at, again, people who get butt implants and breast implants, that just want them because it makes them feel better about the way that they look, which is valid, and I'm not knocking it down at all. They don't have to do all of that. They don't have to do all of that. But they just pay for it. Money talks, bullshit walks. So there's got to be a way that everybody could kind of, maybe not everybody be 100% happy, but be at least in some common ground. And that's the part of the conversation that I have not seen yet. There's not been any real, that I have found anyway, tangible actions that we can take in this conversation where everyone's happy, or everyone's at least as close to being satisfied with the outcome as possible. These are just my thoughts, but what do I know? I'm just a dude on the internet talking to a camera that you will hopefully listen to later. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments on transmedicalism and gatekeeping, and what are your thoughts out there? Maybe there's something I'm missing from the conversation. Again, this video wasn't to sit here and say what's right or what's wrong. I just was kind of talking a little bit out loud, I guess, about what my thoughts are. I think that the conversation is based in fear. So not necessarily fear of trans people, but just fear. So fear and feelings, which fear is a feeling, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I think I've made this video far too long, longer than what I wanted. I was trying to look here at longer than what I wanted. That's it for this video. Again, let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. And don't let me know if you want to see me on Saturday, November 28th at 1:30 to do a STP Packer giveaway. We'll talk ideas, just chat it up. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I follow back. And I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.